modern plays. This is the greatest play by Samuel Beckett. We call it an absurd play, and we also regard it as a masterpiece, as Samuel Beckett's masterpiece. Certainly, this is one of the finest plays ever written in the modern times. If you make a list of 10 great modern plays, definitely Waiting for Godot finds its place in the tradition or the list. Samuel Beckett was and is an important playwright, and he didn't write his plays originally in English. They were written first in French, then they were translated into English and several other European languages. So for about 30 to 40 minutes, I will be talking about the play. Then I will take some questions at the end. You can get your queries clarified at the end of my presentation today. So I hope that all of you have read the play and you know what the play is about. And Samuel Beckett was born on 1906, and he was an important poet, novelist, and playwright. But at the end of the day, he was recognized as a major playwright of the world, although he wrote poetry and a couple of novels. And his name and fame slowly rests upon this play, Waiting for Godot, and the impact of this play is not lost even today. It has been making its influence on the major playwrights of the world. There is no single playwright in any language across the globe who hasn't come under the heavy influence of Beckett, a playwright like Beckett. And Waiting for Godot is regarded as a, remember, number one, it's regarded as a tragicomedy, not tragic comedy. It is regarded as an absurd play, and it is also regarded as an existential play. So if you know something about Camus, Kierkegaard, and others, the seminal, European thinkers, you may understand, you can understand this play better. The existentialist, theorists and philosophers. And it's also regarded as an existential play. Today in my class, I'll be discussing Waiting for Godot as tragicomedy, as an absurd play, and as an existential play. Okay? And Sartre, for example, Sartre, you must read. Sartre, Camus, Kierkegaard are the three major writers, philosophers who think or who have thought about absurdity, existentialism, and suicide, and all major European socio-political, cultural problems. The first two world wars and the implications of wars, and many civilian unrest in many European countries, and America, Russian, the civil war between the two great powers, and so on. Then, in short, I'll explain what existentialism is. Existential philosophy holds that we human beings simply exist in a universe that does not have any overreaching moral order or meaning. This is the problem of existentialism. Okay, so what we do as human beings, and we live. We as human beings simply exist in a universe. We are living in this universe. We talk about religion, we talk about philosophy, we talk about some idealism and some moral order, etc., etc. And these philosophers say that there is nothing of this, nothing of this sort ever existed in the universe. What is God, and who knows what God is and where He is, what does He do, and what is His relationship with me and with you? Several questions. And we say that there is a meaning. We're all obsessed with meaning. What is the meaning of what you are doing? If you read Carnot's first play, Yayati, which is also called an major existential play in one of the best existential plays written in India in 1960s. So the play ends with the remark, "Oh God, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Is there any meaning? Is there a meaning? Is there a meaning in the world? Who knows what the meaning is? What the meaning is? What does it mean? Okay, I say something. Does it mean? I listen to somebody. Does he speak sense, or does it mean? And you are all listening to me. Who knows whether you are understanding me or not? Whether you are finding any meaning in what I'm trying to say to you or not. Okay, and this is a very strange world about which we don't think, because we are not trained in thinking about such hard, stark realities of life. We simply exist. We believe that there is God. We believe that there is some moral order in the universe. Now, if you read the old text, you will understand how people think about it. For example, if you read, some folklore or legends, if a demon tries to, molest a decent lady, what does she say? If you touch me, I am a Pativarta Stri. I am a Pativarta Stri. If you touch me, then there will be chaos in the whole universe. In reality, does it happen? Right? And many people are molested. Many women are molested. Many girls are molested in this country. What does happen? Even police people do not come to your rescue. Again, I'm very decent. I'm very innocent. If you trouble me, then you will go to hell. Who knows where hell is? Okay. So we think that there is some moral order in the universe, some meaning, and existentialists question this, problematize this. We are not essentially good or bad. We are what we make of ourselves, and we are what we choose to believe. There is nothing like good and bad, they say. You are good because you have made yourself a decent man, a good man. Not that you have some essential good qualities in you. You have neither good qualities in you nor bad qualities in you, but you create such qualities with your actions, with your thoughts, and so on. So we are not essentially good or bad. We are what we make of ourselves. Okay, if you do good things, if you think you are good, you are good. If you think you are bad, you are bad. But you are not essentially, you are not basically good or bad. You are just a human being. So Beckett's interpretation of this philosophical position seems to have been that in a world which has lost its sense of location in any larger order. So Waiting for Godot talks about the sense of lost of location in a larger order. Any location outside ourselves is only distracting scenery. It talks about your location and it talks about the rest of the world. And the possible relationship between your private world and the larger world and so on. Okay, so it's impossible for any teacher to make you understand what existentialist philosophy is in 2-3 minutes. Okay, now I will come to absurdity. What is absurd? Absurd and absurd. You'll have to understand the meaning of the term absurd. Absurd means absurd, logical, absurd, illogical. Minus logic. Absurd means it's something which doesn't have any logic in it. Illogical. And Samuel Beckett presents an absolutely absurd world in this play. He takes us to a world where there is no sense, where there is no logic, and where things don't have cause and effect relationship. Okay, and you are at loss to understand the world where there is no connection, where there is no connectivity, where there is no link, and where there is no logic, and where arguments do not carry any weightage. Arguments become meaningful only, interesting only when there is meaning in it. And the characters in this play, we meet in fact 5 characters or 6 characters in 2 scenes. It has 2 scenes, and there are 4, 5, 6 characters, because the boy whom we meet in the first act and the boy whom we meet in the second act, we don't know whether they are the 2 different boys or one and the same boy. Okay, there is Pozo and Lucky. We meet one pair in the second, and Estragon and Vladimir we meet in the first. So there are 3 couples. So this play reminds us of the comedy pairs in circus, and we all know that the playwright Samuel Beckett came under the heavy influence of comedians of the bygone era, like Charlie Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin and others. Okay, so this is an absurd play because it deals with the absurd world. I can give you a number of examples later. And it's tragic comedy. You have the elements of tragedy in it and the elements of comedy in it. What happens in a tragic play, in tragedy, what happens in tragedy is at the end of the play, the protagonist of the play dies, or he gets killed. And in this play, nothing of this sort happens. And tragedy, it is very tragic. It is very tragic. I will be explaining about the tragedy of this play for about the next 5 to 6 minutes. Okay. And now, this very serious, event becomes is treated as a comic one at the end of the play. So it is tragic comedy. But Vladimir and Estragon, they appear to be they don't die, but the seriousness, the end is tragic in some sense, because they do not meet the person they have been they are waiting for. They are waiting for Godot, and the playwright. Neither the playwright, nor the boy, nor these characters do not tell us who Godot is and what he does. It is not tragic if you wait for somebody you don't know who he is or who she is, isn't it? So you wait for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, or you wait throughout your life for somebody you do not know who he is or who she is. How tragic it is, how ironical it is, how absurd it is. It has neither no purpose, no aim, no objective, nothing. And Beckett, seems to tell us that all of us, face this problem, but we do not know that we are facing a very, 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 very important existential problem. We are living in an illusion. We are living in an illusion. We are living in an illusory world. It is a world of make-believe. It is a world of make-believe. It is like film. It is like film. You are watching a movie which is not real, and you are identifying with the hero. And when you comes out, then you have the hard reality to face, the stark reality to face. So it is tragicomedy. So Waiting for Godot is an existential play, and it is tragicomedy because it combines elements of both the tragedy and the comedy. And it very often averting the seemingly almost inevitable tragic outcome at the last minutes with a comic resolution. For example, Vladimir and Estragon think of committing suicide. They don't commit suicide. They don't commit suicide because even existentialists do not prescribe this medicine to the people. Just because you don't find meaning in life, you cannot commit suicide. For example, Albert Camus in his prose work Myth of Sisyphus talks extensively about the thoughts of suicide and why people commit suicide. And at the end of the text, he comes to the conclusion that this is not the best solution to the problem that you are facing. If you think that life is impossible, you need not commit suicide. Not necessary. So Vladimir and Estragon often think of committing suicide, and they also they think how can they commit suicide, whether they should hang. And he says, yes, better. We can hang ourselves, but we don't have a piece of rope. And what should I do? You can hang with the help of your belt, but belt is too small, short. Just try. I don't think that it is strong enough to carry my weight. So all these ideas and thoughts can be seen and analyzed in a larger context. So they don't commit suicide. So therefore, it is tragicomedy. They don't commit suicide. And they seem to be, very, very comic. We may laugh, but the intention of the playwright is not to amuse us, is not to simply entertain us, but to draw our attention to a very, very serious existential problem. And he will show us the world, the absurd world, the world in which there is no meaning. It's devoid. DEVYD, it's devoid of meaning, and etc. Okay, now I'll be reading some 3 to 4 pages at the end of my presentation, only to drive home the fact how best the play is and how comical the characters are and how serious the situation is and how tragic the whole situation is. Now, the play consists of 2 acts. Act 1, there is a country road. There is a road leading to a country village, and there is a tree, and it's evening time. And this is highly symbolical. You can consider this play as a symbolic play. There are lots of symbols, metaphors, images, and they all point at this very absurd world. Okay, it's evening time. It's not morning. Evening time. And interestingly, the second act of the play. Just a minute. The second act of the play begins on the next day, and same time, evening, same place. But this sameness You know, this sameness is very, very uninteresting, is very tragic. For example, if your mother gives you idli every day morning, you complain. Huh? No change in it. And chapati every day, you don't like. Idli every day, you don't like. And going to the same class every day, meeting the same teacher. If I teach the same play for 1 year, okay, the same is very tragic. The same is very, very untasty. We don't welcome the same, but it is the same. What you do from morning till evening, what you do from birth till death, unless you are very, very, very creative and very alert and would like to conduct experiment with life and with your teaching or with your boyhood or girlhood, your studentship, etc., it becomes extremely mechanical, uninteresting, and the same. Okay, so we rebel against the same, but the same is something that characterizes the world. The sameness characterizes the world. You know, it is the same. And the play, interestingly, when the play begins, it's evening time, and it's a road, country road, and there is one tree. And there is no change in it. There is no change in it. And more or less, they speak the same thing. They speak the same thing. They do the same act. This sameness is something which you need to understand. Look at the first dialogue of Estrogon. I will introduce this. I will talk about these characters in detail. And they're struggling. One is struggling with the hat, and the other is struggling with his boot. Okay, Estrogon is struggling with his hat, and the other, his counterpart, Vladimir, is struggling with his boat. And Estrogon is the first to speak. Nothing to be done. He's not talking about his hat. Nothing to be done. The play begins with nothing, and at the end of the play, they say, "We are going. Let's go." They don't go. See, the relationship between what they say and what they really do is missing. No connection at all. No connection. No logic. Okay? So we are essentially living in a world where there is no logic, there is no connectivity, and there is and it's all cunningly, devastatingly absurd and illogical. And reaction, how does Vladimir respond to him? I'm beginning to come around to that question, to that opinion. I am beginning to come around to that opinion. My dear friend, I'm also going to say the same thing. All my life, I have tried to put it for me, saying, Vladimir, be reasonable. You have not yet tried everything. And I resumed the struggle. This nothingness continues throughout the play. And he says, nobody comes, nobody goes. It's all awful. Nobody comes, nobody goes. It's all awful. It's unbearable, intolerable, unbearable. And you think that you're happy because you are with your friends, and you don't know that your friends are not interested in you. So it is better to be aloof than in the company of friends, because nobody is interested in you. This is not just today's problem. It's an age-old problem. This is what we are. We're all interested in ourselves. That's why you are saying something and I say something else. Absolutely, there is no relationship between what you say and what I say. Still, we are together. We are together physically, not mentally and psychologically. Even a wife and husband who live together for 30, 40 years may not be together intellectually and psychologically. That's why they say, you never understood me. Wife tells husband, you don't understand me. And husband tells wife, you don't understand me. Friends, no, you don't understand me. Tell me who understands. Who understands? No, not at all. Not at all. So when I begin to tell you my story, you remember your own story. When I narrate my unhappiness to you, my tragedy to you, you remember your own tragedy. Okay. So these writers, tell us to know that this is the reality. Okay. You will understand this. Live with others. Don't commit suicide. So then they say, let us, what should we do? We are waiting. Waiting for whom? We are waiting for Godot. Before I explain this absurd world for about 5 to 10 minutes, let me say in short about these characters, Estragon and Vladimir. I'll introduce the two characters to you. If you read the play very carefully, you will understand that Estragon is more intelligent than Vladimir. Whereas Vladimir is less intelligent, but he thinks that he's a poet. He's a poet. And Estragon is the soul. He's the soul. Vladimir is the body. So Estragon is more intelligent. Vladimir is less intelligent. Estragon is the soul and Vladimir is the body. Estragon is obsessed with his hat. He is struggling with his hat. He wants to remove his hat as if the whole his hat contains the whole world. Okay. And his hat becomes his problem, his strength and his weakness. He can't part with it and he can't keep it on his head and he struggles to remove it. So many, he's struggling with his hat. And Vladimir is struggling with his boots. He wants to take off his boots and he is not able to, he doesn't succeed in taking off his boots and he's struggling with his boots. They are absurd because, unlike Hamlet or Macbeth or Lear, who entangle with destiny, with arch enemies and so on, or unless Greek tragic characters who struggle with the gods and destiny and so on. And these characters, okay, and this is a classic, a major play, masterpiece, and there is no action. It is an actionless play. But waiting itself is an action. Remember, waiting itself is an action. We do not know that waiting, is a big action. It's more than killing or getting killed because you are simply waiting. Just go to railway station and sit there and wait for the train to come to receive your friend. You don't know who your friend is. Wait for 2 hours. You understand the what involves in the process of waiting, in the act of waiting, right? So I cannot say that the play doesn't have any action in it, right? So one is obsessed with his hat and the other with his boots. And Estragon's problem is he has a stinking breath. And we all complain. And he has a stinking breath, and Vladimir has stinking feet. His feet stink, and his breath stinks. And Estragon has some physical problem that he has a trouble with prostate. And Vladimir, falls asleep all the time. He's very sleepy. And Estragon cannot sleep because he has this problem, prostate problem. It's man's problem. women cannot have this problem. Normally, they will not have this problem. But Vladimir is very, very sleepy. He wants to sleep all the time. And Estrogan can dream. He's a dreamer. And Estrogan tells Vladimir about his dream, and Vladimir is not interested in his dream. He hates listening to his dreams. And remember, many a time when our friends try to explain their dreams to us, we really hate listening to them, or we don't show any interest. When I begin to say something, my colleagues will talk something else. No, don't talk. We are not interested in you. Something is very interesting for me. So it's very great, and it's very urgent, and it's very tragic, and it's very, very, very important and significant, and I would like to tell the whole world, but nobody is interested in listening to me. So this disconnection, also matters in an absurd play. And Estragon is more wifely. I'm using the word. I'm not the first person to use this word. It has already been used. And he looks after, Estragon looks after Vladimir in a wifely manner. Feeding him, covering him with his coat, etc. Because they are a pair, like husband and wife, beloved and lover, are two old friends. And he is wifely. He treats him in a wifely manner. And Vladimir has a hope. He has a hope, or he lives with his hope. But Estragon is always he always complains and more aggressive. Compared to Vladimir, he is more aggressive. So these two characters we meet in the first act of the play. And in the second act of the play, we meet one more pair. I have already told you that they are like a couple of the long-standing husband, wife, mother, child, or just old friends. And Pozo and Lucky we meet in the second act, and they are not as interesting as Vladimir and Estragon, but they continue the absurdity of Vladimir and Estragon in the second act of the play, and they all meet and discuss. What they discuss, has apparently it doesn't have any meaning, but it has meaning. Even what you call absurdity has meaning in literature. What you call illogical has meaning in it. And what you call sanity has meaning in it. It has some order in it. That's the reason why we go to literature, we don't go to mental hospital. Yeah? We go to literature, we don't go to jail. We may, of course, go to jail. That's a different story. Pozo and Lucky. Pozo is the master and Lucky is the slave. The relation, the relation between the two is that of a master and a slave. And at the end of the act, Pozo becomes blind and Lucky becomes dumb. And there is no difference between the first scene and the second scene of the play. Now, I will just read out the few pieces from the last from the end, Act 1 and Act scene, the end of Act 1 and the end of Act 2. So you can understand the play better. You can also understand the seriousness of the play and the tragedy. They don't remember. They don't remember what they have what they discussed yesterday, and they don't know what they should do. Okay, all right. I'll be reading on page number 43, from 43 to 47. Quickly, if you just listen to me. Estragon asks Vladimir, I've already told you that Estragon is more violent. Is not violent, is aggressive. Let me alone. Advancing to the boy, do you know what time it is? A boy comes. Interestingly, at the end of the first scene, a boy comes. And he meets Estragon and Vladimir, and they ask him some questions, and he tries to answer them. They do not know who the boy is, and the boy also does not know who these people are. And the boy simply says that he has been sent with a message to deliver to these young people. And the boy doesn't know that he must deliver the message to these or to some others. He doesn't know. And he's carrying a message from Godot, not God. Don't mistake Godot for God. And who Godot is? The boy who has come from Godot doesn't know exactly what Godot is. And these two characters who have been waiting from the for a long time also do not know who Godot is. Then, do you know what time it is? Boy says, recoiling, it's not my fault, sir. Estragon, and whose it then? Mine? Boy, I was afraid, sir. I was afraid. See the illogicality. Estragon, afraid of what? Of us, Vladimir and Estragon? There is a pause. The play is full of pauses. Answer me. Vladimir says, I know what it is. He was afraid of the others. He intervenes and tells, no, he's not afraid of us. He was afraid of others. How long have you been here? Estragon asks the boy. How long have you been in here? A good while, sir. A good while. It doesn't tell exact time. Vladimir. You were afraid of the whip? Stick? Yes, sir. Boy says. The roars? Yes, sir. The two big men? Yes, sir. Do you know them? Yes, sir. Do you know them? No, sir. Now, when he says no, sir, he is denying all the yeses. He has denied. Do you know them? No, sir. Vladimir. Are you a native of these parts? Silence. He doesn't know. Huh? Are you from this place? Silence. Do you belong to these parts? Yes, sir. That's all. Estragon says that is all a pack of lies. Shaking the boy by the arm, tell us the truth. Tell us the truth. This is the stupidest question that men ever ask. Tell me truth. If you are late, I ask you, why are you late? Sir, I didn't get hot water. Then I say, tell me the truth. And you say something, then I allow you to attend my class. Who knows what you are told is the truth? And when I say I'm telling truth, you must remember that I'm not telling truth, or I may not tell the truth. So tell us the truth, boy, trembling. But it is the truth, sir. What I have said is the truth, sir. Will you let him alone? What's the matter with you? Vladimir tells Estragon to leave him alone. Estragon, I'm unhappy. Not really? Vladimir asks, not really? Since when? If you are unhappy, since when you are unhappy? I had forgotten. I had forgotten. I'm unhappy, but how long I have been unhappy? I have forgotten. Extraordinary the tricks that memory plays. Then Estragon tries to speak and renounces and limps to his place, etc., etc. To the boy, he says, well, my dear boy, tell me. Boy says, Mr. Godot, Mr. Godot, Vladimir, I have seen you before, haven't I? He's talking about Godot, and Vladimir is talking about something else. And I have seen you. I have seen you before, haven't I? I do not know, sir. Vladimir, you don't know me? You don't know me? No, sir. It wasn't you came yesterday? No, sir. The play has started today, but it has some precedence to it. Yesterday also they waited here at the same place, and a boy came and he's asking, "You were not the one who came yesterday?" No, sir. Do you know who I am? No, sir. Then how can you deliver a message to the person you do not know? This is the first time you are coming? Yes, sir. Words. No meaning in it. Words. There is pause. Speak. And the boy in a rush. Mr. Godot told me to tell you he won't come this evening, but surely tomorrow. This is the message. You may have to. You may be asked to write a lengthy answer to this question statement. Mr. Godot told me to tell you he won't come this evening, but surely come tomorrow is the text, is the message I am asked to deliver to you. He's not coming today, and he's coming tomorrow, surely tomorrow. So you can postpone your plan to commit suicide by one more day. Then is that all? Anything else he has said? Yes, sir. Silence. You work for Mr. Godot? Are you his agent? His messenger? His servant? Slave? Yes, sir. I work for him. What do you do? I mind the goats, sir. I take care of goats, sir. Is he good to you? How is Godot to you? We never think about how good God to us. Yes, sir. He doesn't beat you? Does he beat you? No, sir. Not me. Not me means he beat some others. Whom does he beat? He beats my brother, sir. He doesn't beat me. He beats my brother. Oh, you have a brother? Yes, sir. What does he do? He minds the sheep, sir. I mind the goats, sir, and he minds the sheep, sir. And why does he beat you? Why doesn't he beat you? I don't know, sir. I don't know why he doesn't beat. So this will continue. And I'll come to the last phase of the first act of the play. Vladimir, it's not certain. No, nothing is certain. Nothing is certain. This is a world of uncertainty. We can still part if you think it would be better. Vladimir is thinking of going away from each other. We are not interesting each other. We better part. Vladimir says, no, it's not worthwhile now. We can part, but this is not the right time. There is silence. Estragon, well, shall we go? Vladimir, yes, let us go. They do not move. Curtain falls. The first act of the play comes to an end. They think of going away. They think of leaving this location and going somewhere. They say, let us go, but they don't go. Okay? And this is the uncertainty. And in Act 2, what happens? I will go to the end of the play. Last 2 pages. Again, Vladimir and Estragon. In between, Pozo and Lecky, they come and they go, and they also talk nonsense, absurd. And the master beats the servant, and the relation between the two is strained, and one becomes blind and the other dumb, etc., which I'm not going to discuss here. Estragon asks Vladimir, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing. Estragon, I'm going. So am I. If you're going, I'm also going. Was I long asleep? Estragon asks. Was I long asleep? Estragon, Vladimir, I don't know. They are together. They are side by side. They're talking to each other. They don't know what they are doing, whether they are sleeping or they are awake. After silence, Estragon asks, "Where shall we go? Tell me, where shall I go?" You go to your your roommate's. To your friend's room and tell him, "Shall we just go? Where shall we go? Don't know. To Kataganchi, Kalaburgi, Hyderabad, right? Or up to the gate. Outside the gate, there is a canteen. Where shall we go? Not far. We'll go, but not far. Oh yes, let us go far away from here." See the disconnection. He says, "Not far, Vladimir." Estragon says, "Oh yes, let us go far away from here." How illogical their arguments are. We can't, Vladimir, we can't. Why not? The other. We have come, we have to come back tomorrow. If we go to a far off place, this is the second act. Same scene, same time, same characters, same location. Okay? And they'll have to come back next day because the boy already came and told them that Mr. Godot, he has a message for you that he won't come this evening and he will come tomorrow. What he told at the end of the first act, what the boy told at the end of the first act, he tells the same at the end of the second act, that Godot is not coming today and he will surely come tomorrow. You can wait. You can wait. Then we have to come back tomorrow. What for? Again, he has forgotten, Mr. God. To wait for Mr. Godot. Godot, silence. He didn't come? No, he's not sure whether he came or not. He asks him, "Did he come?" He didn't come? No. And now it is too late. He may not come. It's very late evening. It's getting dark and darker. Yes, now it is night. And if we dropped him, Vladimir, he would finish us. Everything is dead but the tree. If you have a text, you can underline this sentence. Everything is dead but the tree. The evening appears to be dead. Read, T.S. Eliot's poem, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Let us go, you went then. Let us go, you went then. The evening is spread out against the sky like a patient writhed upon the table. Okay, very uninteresting, long, uninteresting, cold, and unattractive, terrible, horrible evening. Remember, all evenings may not be the same. All mornings may not be the same. So everything is dead except the tree. Looking at the tree, what is it? He don't know. He doesn't know. Estragon doesn't know whether it is a tree. What he can see, is the tree. It is the tree. Then Estragon, yes, but what kind of tree? I don't know. A willow, maybe a willow. I don't know. They cannot recognize the tree. They don't recognize each other. They are together. They don't know each other. They are stranger to each other. Why don't we hang ourselves? Brilliant idea Estragon gives. How long should we wait? And we don't know who Godot is. We don't know what to ask when he comes, etc., etc. Brilliant idea. Let us commit suicide. Why don't we hang ourselves? All right, fine, good idea. But with what? You haven't got a bit of rope? No. Then we can't. No, we don't have rope, so we will not commit suicide. Silence. Let us go. Wait. There is my belt. Don't lose hope. I have a belt with which we can hang. It is too short. You could hang on onto my legs. Can you hang from my legs onto my legs? Okay, but who would hang on to mine? True. All the same. Then we'll soon see here. Not worth a curse. You say we have to come back tomorrow. Estragon. You mean to say we have to come back tomorrow? Yes. Then we can bring a good bit of rope. Good. Tomorrow we are coming back, and when we come back tomorrow, we will bring a good bit of rope. Yes. Did he? Yeah. I can't go on like this. I hate this. I no longer tolerate this. It's unbearable. I can't go on like this. That's what you think. If we parted, that might be better for us. You are totally. We have lost love, faith in each other or for each other. Let us part. Vladimir, we'll hang ourselves tomorrow. Let's make a plan. Tomorrow we'll hang ourselves if Godot doesn't come. Unless Godot comes. If Godot comes, we are saved. If he doesn't come, we hang ourselves and end this existence. Mr. God, well, shall we go? Pull on your trousers. You have pulled down your trousers. What? He doesn't know that his trousers are down. Pull on your trousers. You want me to pull off my trousers? He's saying pull on, and the other is saying pull off. Roll on your trousers. Realizing his trousers are down. True. He pulls up his trousers. Vladimir, well, shall we go? Estragon, yes, let's go. They don't go. The play comes to an end. See, as I said to you in the beginning, the whole play is all about this very absurd world. It's about this absurd world, meaningless world, the world in which there is no things happen without on their own accord, and there is no cause and effect, and there is no relation. There is a disconnectivity, and there is no. I mean, they don't have faith in each other, and there is no system. There is no order, right? But all these together, create an extremely realistic world which precisely explains the condition, the pathetic condition of modern man and modern woman. So this is our problem. This is your problem. This is the problem of every single individual living in the world. And the play has a lot of contemporary value and a lot of contemporary significance. And this existential problem is not just the modern problem. And you go back to, if you read human history, the history of human civilization, the history of human art and literature and culture, you will find that man has always been struggling with the existential problems. And we attribute meanings to God. We create gods, and we attribute meanings and religion, caste, community. They're all political issues and political discourses. And we have been talking about something which is not worth discussion at all. So. This is all that I wanted to say, and I have said I can take some questions. Yeah. Any question? Are you all asleep?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Huh? Only you know it, and if there is Godot, he may also know. I don't know. All right, I can take questions. I'm sorry, I have not taught the play. I have only given you a lecture on this play. I think I have covered important questions. I think I have discussed different dimensions of this play.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, how do we look at existentialism in this current time, this Corona time? How do we look at existentialism?
This COVID COVID is a classic example for all existential issues. COVID is also a classic example for explaining the all existential problems, absurd problems. I think the whole situation is very devastatingly absurd. COVID virus is also like Godot. Who has seen it? Nobody knows. No doctor knows what COVID is. But we all suffered from it, and people lost their lives. And see, we what do you call culture? What do you call humanism? We forgot. Everybody cared for his own life, right? Even husband and wife, didn't touch each other. Very, very, very absurd world. As if I look at you, I get infected. Children in a house, we all lived separately. And still, this, some say it is a medical scam, and it's all an illusion, and there is no virus like this. But people died, which is a reality. And as I said, Ganga, we still have these existential problems. You just see the Facebook, which explains how absurd we are. Facebook is whose Facebook? It is my Facebook. I'm not interested in others. If I share something, in a second, people, they give their likes. Do they read? To read one page, you need at least 3-4 minutes. But in a minute, in a second, fraction of a second, you get responses. They simply, Hajarati, attendance, they give attendance. Yes, I have seen, my dear friend, I have seen it. And also, we talk about so many issues. We're all fighting in the name of religion. Okay, idealism, or these theories, the right and the left. So they don't explain human condition. That's what Sartre says, and others say. That they don't explain. So man has to essentially deal with himself. And look for some order. There is no order, and how can you look for order? Right? Have I answered your question, Ganga?
Yes, sir.
Good. Are you happy with this?
Yes, sir. I believe it. Yeah, it is true, sir.
May Godot bless you, if he is.
Sir, do we
Yes.
have to continue looking in this existential nihilist view, because how far is it optimistic for a life?
Um, see, this nihilism, I'm not talking about nihilism. I also don't endorse nihilism in its current form. I am only talking about existentialism and absurdity, etc., etc. And it doesn't discourage us. It doesn't. This philosophy doesn't discourage us. It only makes us understand reality better. And for example, Camus in Myth of Sisyphus does not advocate suicide. And he said, when you think you cannot find meaning and you cannot continue living in this world, you commit suicide. And he says that does not solve your problem. So neither Sartre nor Kierkegaard or nor Camus tell us, to commit suicide. They still hope. Vladimir and Estragon, they hope. The play, they have been waiting. They are very desperate and they don't meet Godot at all. There are lots of problems. Still they hope. Let's come tomorrow. He says, don't go to far-off place. If you go to a far-off place, you may not reach the point in time because we are mainly waiting for Godot. So waiting, hope is there in the title of the play itself. Waiting means we're expecting. You are not lost all your hopes, isn't it? So I'm for dreams, and I'm for hopes, and I'm for survival. Okay, with all our problems and difficulties and etc., we must continue to live. I'm for this. Yes. Any other question? There is Chandana, Jadki, and Sonam. Parvati is there, and Mantosh, Divakar Naidu. Yeah, I can take one or two questions. Quick. I have a meeting at 11:30. You focus on, as far as this play is concerned, about its existentialism and absurdity and how and tragicomedy. You may have to consider this play as tragicomedy and as an absurd play, or as an existential play. Okay. And remember the whole argument. Nobody comes, nobody goes. It's awful. They say, let us go. They don't go. They don't move. They stay back. And the boy. And I think more than 100 times they say, I don't know. I don't know. More than 100 times they say, I don't know. There are several pauses. All right. So I wish you all the best, and I hopefully meet you in the next semester. I'll teach a couple of texts in detail. This semester has been very, very hectic for me. I didn't get time to spend a lot of time with you. So I'll be spending a lot of time with you in the next semester. We may call all of you to the campus maybe in a couple of months. You get vaccinated, take care of yourselves, and I can spare time for you. If you don't understand, if you have my number, you can text me, you can WhatsApp to me, you can email, you can send your mails. You can ask me questions, clarifications. Okay. Although it's very hectic, but I can still spare time for my students. All right. I assume that you don't have any question to ask me. Shall I close?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. May God bless you. Take care of yourselves. Ganga, you send me the list.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.